KwaZulu-Natal Premier Sihle Zikalala is giving us an update on matters relating to the economy of the province. During his State of the Province address, Mr. Zikalala said that jobs were lost due to COVID-19 and also last year's July unrest. But his administration, we heard, would seek to turn this around. How? Let's find out. Let's cross there live.
Natal and the people of the province, we stand ready to play our supportive role where appropriate and required in order to ensure that activities to commemorate the legacy of the late His Majesty the King is a success. As we indicated during the State of the Province address, ours is to draw on the collective goodwill of all people of KwaZulu-Natal and to turn the corner toward the KZN that is truly united and at peace with itself. Our program this year is to intensify the work of healing our communities from the scars of both COVID-19, the July unrest, and indeed the passing of His Majesty King Zwelithini, as well as that of the passing of Her Majesty Regent Queen Mantombi. We ask that everyone put our royal family and the nation in prayer as we remember His Majesty. When we begin to reflect on economic recovery for KwaZulu-Natal, we must emphasize that the provincial administration want to be more performance-driven, measurable, and impactful in changing the lives of the people of the province. Indeed, we want to exercise more agility and precision in delivering the agenda of economic transformation and in attracting investment to the province within the context of a global economy that is still recovering after being battered by the COVID-19 pandemic. It is against this background that our focal areas for the year 2022 will be working better and faster to prioritize the following areas: economic recovery and creation of jobs, improving access to water and sanitation, fighting crime and building safer communities, social protection and human development, building a capable and a capacity of the state, building a better Africa and a better world. Now, firstly, if we engage on the issue of the economy, ladies and gentlemen, the path to economic recovery will be long and sometimes hard. But we have no doubt that indeed, at the end, we will turn the corner and triumph against all odds. Our government continues to engage with local investors and businesses, and next week we will host a summit of the KwaZulu-Natal Growth Coalition on the South Coast. This activity will bring together the government and more than 100 CEOs of companies that are based in KwaZulu-Natal. Our target is to address unemployment rate, which has now risen to 28.7% from about 23% before COVID-19 pandemic. It is also to undo creeping corporate corruption, failure of companies to invest in infrastructure and in skills development, lack of sustainable energy generation, and instability created by criminal activities of some business forums. Our economic recovery program seeks to address and introduce economic reforms anchored on radical socio-economic transformation and a greater participation in the mainstream economy by the majority of the people of the province. The green shot of our economic recovery are beginning to surface. As the year 2022 begins, the following investments have already been recorded. Capita BPO is investing 120 million, and that will create 500 jobs in the province. The coastal Blethervale Resort is moving now to implement the project that has been earmarked for a few years, and this will be the investment of 800 million, and this will at the end create 2,000 jobs. Nganawe Holding for manufacturing of tractors is investing 800 million and will create 200 jobs at the Richards Bay Industrial Development Zone site. This week, during its sitting, the Executive Council took a decision to submit key strategic projects for consideration and funding by the African Export and Import Bank, the African Bank. Afrixim is a pan-African multilateral trade finance institution. In the initial phase, the province is submitting its portfolio of agri-hub projects. Agri-hubs are key catalytic projects which have a huge potential for job creation and economic growth. Agri-hubs portfolio include the red meat hub, which will include cattle abattoir, piggery, goat, sheep abattoir, deboning facility, distribution center. While the grain handling hub will focus on white, yellow mills, beans and soya beans. Fresh produce hub will deal with bulk vegetables, distribution, vegetable processing, banana handling. The dairy hub, which incorporate raw milk tanks and UHT facility, will also have a distribution center and a factory for amasi as well as yogurt. These are based in various districts of the province. We believe that agriculture presents enormous potential and opportunities for investment and will go a long way in stimulating economic growth and attracting direct investment to this province. But while we emphasize on agri-hubs, is that we want to exploit the whole value chain. While we will build the hubs, what is important is that people who will be feeding to these hubs will be ordinary people from local communities. Whether you talk of dairy or you talk of grain, we want a situation where those who are involved in subsistence farming and those who are small-scale farmers have a platform where their produce is processed. And this is about a scaling into a value addition. With regard to cannabis industry, following the announcement in the State of the Nation's address by His Excellency President Cyril Ramaphosa, we are pleased to announce that KwaZulu-Natal has taken a major step, including establishing the cannabis industry in the province. We have since formed a multidisciplinary committee to develop the KZN cannabis industry. The potential of this industry is estimated at about 28 billion in South Africa, with a potential to create between 10 to 20,000 jobs, 10,000 to 20,000 jobs across the entire value chain. Therefore, the establishment of the cannabis industry will lead to diversification of the economy, create jobs, increase economic growth, and contribute to poverty alleviation. The Provincial Cannabis Committee will be responsible for growing this industry through ensuring adherence to regulatory systems, seed supply system, research and technology development. It will also drive the sustainable producer system, market and supply development system, manufacturing and product development, education and training, communication and awareness. With regard to 10 million grant relief for rural and township shops, following the KZN July 2021 unrest and a survey done by the Department of Economic Development, Tourism and Environmental Affairs, the KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Government have approved an intervention aimed at providing a relief grant for rural and township shops that were affected by the looting and the unrest. The grant is an amount of up to 20,000 per shop and will assist more than 500 shops across the province with trading stock, excluding alcohol and related products. The funding intervention addresses the challenges faced by rural and township businesses which were affected but were left out due to underreporting during the July mayhem. The provincial government has since reprioritized 10 million, which will be a grant funding targeting these businesses. The application forms will be available at 8-tier offices and will be subjected to verification processes to ensure that really deserving people and qualifying shops receive this support. As we announced that we are increasing the fund to support young people through the KZN Youth Business Development Fund, we're increasing it from 50 million to 100 million this financial year. The process to invite applications is being processed and will be announced in due course. We will announce the beneficiaries of the 2021 support in the coming months. Youth entrepreneurs and their creative ideas to grow our economy and reduce unemployment is the priority for this government. In establishment of Zimele Traders Fund for the rural and township shops, ladies and gentlemen, in a major boost for township and rural economy, the provincial government of KwaZulu-Natal approved the Zimele Traders Fund, a KZN-led program to uplift community-based rural and township shops through the provision of the working capital loan funding and the payment automation facilities. This fund will provide shops and general dealers with support to transform their businesses into viable shopping outlets, offering a one-stop shopping experience. The loan amount will be anything up to 100,000 per qualifying shop, and the shops will be supported with pay-point machines at no cost to the shop owners. This form of support is a first of its kind toward rural and township shops. This funding initiative will be implemented under 8-tier. It will give an opportunity to rural and township shops to contribute to the economy and assist in the post-COVID-19 economic recovery program. The conditions for the support under this fund are, among others, that the shop must be located in townships or in rural areas owned by South Africans, and that must be proven. With regard to the resumption of the SAA flight between Durban and Johannesburg, we wish to join MEC Pillay in welcoming the resumption of the flights between Durban and Johannesburg. He was there on our behalf as government to welcome the first flight landing in King Shaka International Airport. This is a crucial milestone in growing our economy and domestic capacity on the essential route of Gauteng and KwaZulu-Natal. The past 22 months since SAA terminated the Durban route have been particularly difficult. However, as government, we have never stopped engaging SAA and the national government, even as the airline was repackaging its business model. This is a fresh start and a timely boost to our economic recovery effort. It strengthens our augment and further augment that Durban route is a significant one in the revival of the aviation industry in South Africa. We also wish to reflect on the Constitutional Court judgment on public government tenders. We have noted the latest concern regarding a circular from National Treasury instructing departments to hold procurement in abeyance. This follows the recent Constitutional Court judgment which declared the 2017 preferential procurement regulations invalid. In response, the National Treasury issued a communique to all organs of the state to stop issuing tenders until it has received clarification from the court as to whether the regulations will still be valid up until February 2023 or not. On behalf of the provincial government, we wish to state that we are concerned with the paralysis and the backlog in the supply chain that this will create. It is our view that this decision amounts to a possible liquidation of government services. The Executive Council is therefore supporting every effort by the national government to speedily resolve this matter. We will be engaging with national government in this regard. Our view has always been that the transformation of the economy through a legal instrument such as the preferential procurement regulations is a precondition for the creation of an inclusive economy that will serve the interest of all South Africans. It therefore stands to reason that we need to do everything necessary to ensure that we support the National Treasury from those who are launching a deliberate onslaught on our collective effort to drive the agenda of remodeling our economic structure so that it benefits all South Africans. We have heard the cries of the people for the return to stadiums. It has become clear that through our collective effort to stem the tide of the damage caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, we've made enormous strides to learn to coexist with this deadly virus through all the necessary interventions that we have adopted. We want to say that the fact that COVID-19 is no longer dominating headlines, it's not an indication that it is not existing anymore and that it is not so a deadly threat. There are people in hospitals, new infections and deaths being recorded. So we urge citizens to remain vigilant and follow all safety protocols. We want to indicate that we have heard the growing concerns from the sporting fraternity, the fans and other related industry players about the need to open up stadiums for fans to attend sporting events. One of the world's most popular derbies was played yesterday between Orlando Pirates and Kaizer Chiefs to an empty stadium. Later this evening, the Manchester derby between Manchester City and Manchester United will be played to a capacity of about 55,000 spectators. That is the capacity of Etihad Stadium. So sports has an impact beyond what happens in the field of play. Sporting activities have a cascading effect in the whole economic system, including informal economy. In this regard, we've heard the calls from the informal traders that the closure of stadiums owing to the situation beyond our control has negatively affected their businesses. We are following with interest the medical and scientific advice about the COVID-19 curve flattening, as numbers in all provinces are going down. We will further raise these concerns with relevant authorities in this regard. We believe that it is high time that when we meet with and engage with the Presidential Coordinating Council, we also present the views of the people of KwaZulu-Natal with regard to the opening of stadiums. And their feeling is clear, is that we must open up and we must allow people to go back. As to whether the scientific researches and studies will indicate the same or altering that view, but we believe that there is a need to listen to the growing concern of the people. We have, through the Department of Economic Development, Tourism, Environmental Affairs, approached the Department of Minerals and Energy, expressing our concern at the imminent closure of SABC refinery in Durban. The closure of SABC, which has been part of KwaZulu-Natal since 1963, will have devastating economic consequences on employment in the province. This is our primary concern, as we are currently in a process of attracting investments and rejuvenating business activities as part of our economic recovery plan. For this reason, government has to closely engage with the process with the view that we would want to serve and protect jobs as well as the investments in the province. At the same time,
all right, that was the KwaZulu-Natal Premier Sihle Zikalala outlining some of the pertinent developments since the State of the Province address, in particular with regards to the economy of KwaZulu-Natal, job creations and other issues as well. We'll have much more in our later bulletins on this.